Hello, Virgo. Welcome. Welcome to the channel. I am Jessica. Let's begin with your next message, Virgo. Thank you for being here. Thank you for connecting. Let's see what your guides want to communicate to you this time. Remember, this is a general message. Take only what resonates with you. Let the rest flow, Virgo. Give it to the universe. The transformation, the transition, and the abundance that will come into your life will be immense. Yes, the death card. And yes, the death card represents the sign of Scorpio. And we, Virgo, as you know, are in Scorpio season. So we will feel a bit impulsive. We will feel that we have no filter when expressing our ideas. We will experience emotions and feelings with greater intensity, as well as nostalgia. And above all, we will see how things start to move forward. Because although Scorpio is a water sign, Virgo acts as a fire sign, which causes this impulse. That is why this energy of change can cause a bit of chaos in our lives, possibly because it is Scorpio energy. So here are the air signs: Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Here we have your Virgo energy along with Taurus and Capricorn. Let's see how much transformation you are experiencing. And I feel, Virgo, that you are beginning to see things much more clearly. Perhaps we are leaning a little towards the logical spiritual side, simply so that you can make more informed and lucid decisions, which is good. But even looking at the same throne of this Queen of Swords, there is also the energy of a butterfly supporting her. That means, Virgo, that you're going to rest in a period of constant change, which will become something normal for you. You no longer fear that things will change, but quite the opposite. There will come a moment when too much change, too much transition will push us to start deciding differently, to avoid repeating the same patterns, to avoid choosing similar things, to avoid ending up making the same mistakes. This energy, the card at the base, as I said, you are probably leaving Virgo and air sign, finally Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. There is also an energy that speaks to us of cutting, of setting boundaries, of setting limits, in a somewhat cold way, maybe. But maybe because, yes, it is necessary. Maybe we have done it right again and again, Virgo. And if they do not learn, then we have to cut. Maybe that mixture of kindness and frankness, coldness and decisiveness is what will make it work this time. But be careful with the number of butterflies. Butterflies will be a symbol, Virgo, a sign of transformation. Remember that it is very relevant to the card that has just appeared at the base for you. But there is a lot of energy here that will be transformative. Virgo, you will start to see things differently. You will start to receive with open arms all the changes that your life is experiencing. There will no longer be fear, and that is precisely what this card brings. The time is coming when we will feel better, the time when our finances begin to give us a sense of security, which will even help you in the future. Virgo, this is good news financially speaking. And Virgo, I feel that this energy has been repeated in your previous readings. For those who read for the first time, welcome. But this energy has been repeated in previous readings, the beginning of having, or at least some specific worries about money finally leaving your life. Yes, so the card of death and rebirth. Welcome whatever comes. It is important, Virgo, not to cling to or hold on to things from the past that are literally like the last remnants, the remains, or the structure. The universe will also remove those things from your life. The energy of the death card. Well, there will be endings, and therefore there will be beginnings. But without a doubt, Virgo, this is for your highest good. Remember very well the energy of Scorpio that we are experiencing right now. So this season will be a season of miracles, of unexpected situations. We also have to pay a lot of attention to the signs. Yes, for example, the butterflies. Let's see, Virgo. What difficulties or obstacles are found here? Card: water, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. You are an earth sign. Virgo, connecting with your emotions and feelings can sometimes be a bit difficult because of the logic of your zodiac sign. But that's why the card is here. In this difficult situation or obstacle, maybe we are having some trouble connecting with someone, or rather, connecting emotionally with someone. Maybe we feel emotionally distant from a particular person or from a situation, but the energy may involve some conflict. Let's say between you and your partner, someone with whom you have a romantic relationship. Maybe you had an argument, a conflict. I feel that there is an energy of a feeling that I do not know if it is guilt or nostalgia, but certainly that someone is thinking of you, Virgo, and remembering things. Whatever it is that hurt you, yes. The card, Earth signs, Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn yours. That is why this card appears, because we are going through financial difficulties right now. We feel like, when will this happen? When will it be approved? When will I receive this money? When will I get this compensation? Whatever it is, the card assures you that the abundance you are waiting to receive will definitely come into your life, Virgo. But money is probably an obstacle right now. There may have been unexpected expenses that have unbalanced your budget and created a new wave of stress. Assuming that deep down, the card stays and pays attention, Virgo, because the card is very good, because it is like a little warning. They are telling us that we need to be present in the moment, be present in what we do, focus our attention on what we are doing. There is something very important, Virgo. You are about to experience something that will change your life in many different areas. In one, perhaps a radical change. Maybe there are things. Remember the death card. We are in Scorpio season. Only 2 months left before the year ends. It is a year of endings. So Virgo, do not be surprised if your life starts to change suddenly. So suddenly that one thing or another begins to happen and your guides want you to pay attention to what you're doing, to what you have in front of you, because they are about to move something important in your life, and they want you to pay attention to what is happening so that it can happen. They do not want you to think about the past, about what happened, about the problems we might have had with past situations. Do not worry about that, at least not now, and not Virgo. They also want you not to daydream too much about the future, about what you want to do. They want you to simply be present in the moment. You will have a bit more workload in the coming days. Remember that. And they are doing it on purpose. They will give you a little more work, literally in your work area, so that you can pay attention to what you are doing. Because something is about to happen in your life. Everything is going to change a lot, and they need you to pay attention. Pay attention to the zodiac signs. Virgo, something important is about to happen. Let's see what the universe has been hiding from you for a while. These are things that they have not told you. They have not shown it to you. At the base, the card, at the end of the day, we reach a peak with situations that stress us and make us anxious. This card is the reason why the sun rises. A season of suffering ends. A season of extreme anxiety ends. I feel that now. The last 2 months, Virgo, I do not necessarily know how to explain it. But those last 2 months of the year, we no longer need to look so much back or think so much about the future. We need to be present. We need to be aware in our daily life of all the changes you will experience. Remember that this can happen in any way, and above all, at any moment. We are in the water season, so everything is very natural. 2 very important cards, and obviously, Virgo, it is the universe. So do not lose the habit. A little stressed, however, a very powerful and also very good card. Because if we're going to be stressed, it is better to be stressed about good things than about bad ones. Yes, that is what this Eight of Wands is. The card tells us that many things are coming at once. Many things are happening. Virgo, all positive things at the same time. Everything can be a message of action, the situation you're going through, etc. Opportunities and offers will be presented to you. Many at once. There may be fire signs involved, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But Virgo, remember also, this speaks to us of communication. Important, this is about to come. Opening new doors for you. This is very likely your wish. That things finally begin to move. That things finally begin to materialize to create this movement, because maybe we have felt stuck, probably since the end of August when your season began. I am sorry, Virgo. Why, you may ask? Because you are an earth sign. We go through that season a little slower, taking firmer steps, but a little slower. And then we have advance. Libra is a very indecisive sign. So we have taken one step forward and then one step back, another step back, and we can almost feel that you are advancing. Now we are in Scorpio, a water sign. And remember, Virgo, that Scorpio is a very impulsive sign. We will move forward at a very fast pace. Maybe we will have some stumbles along the way because we cannot measure if we are impulsive, we cannot measure where we fall, but we are definitely moving forward, Virgo. And this star card tells you so completely, this is a wish that has come true. It is a gift that the universe is giving you. And for many people, that gift may be the end of certain anxieties that they carry and wish to finally resolve, even if they are related to money, full moon in Taurus. So Virgo, this full moon helps us or will help us materialize things to be able to satisfy our needs, especially the material ones. A better job, money, having a house, a car, going shopping, traveling, going on vacation, or having my own business where I am my own boss. So I do not have to deal with other people or such material situations. This is an energy that connects us with our abundance. It is an earth sign like you, Virgo, so take advantage of it. But I definitely see the universe taking away one or two of your worries. See what you will manifest this month. The first half of the month especially carries quite a seductive energy that may surround you, Virgo. Not only someone, as I said, quite charming, but also someone. And this obviously in a romantic sense. Yes, you must be a little careful. You must be a little careful here because it could be someone who tells you many things that sound wonderful, right? Great, important, and exciting plans. But that same person may not keep their promise. However, what happens with this card is that when they decide to fulfill their promise, they do it, but with great flair. They do it in a special way. So we might be dealing with a double-edged energy here, almost, let's say, Virgo, but it also confirms that there is someone here who will keep their promise to you. It could be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but I also feel it could be Scorpio for some people. This is an energy again, of course, a fire sign, but the help you need is Virgo, because I see that you have a lot of work to do, so to speak. And the help will come. You may not have asked for it, and Virgos tend not to ask for help and believe they can handle everything. And sometimes we feel overwhelmed by so many things to do. But then help arrives, literally out of nowhere. Not only will it come from someone you trust, but it could be someone who has helped you before and knows how you like things, etc. That person knows you or knows you well, etc. But it will be right at the perfect moment. Again, most likely a fire sign, an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. And as I told you, Virgo, we are in Scorpio season. It is a water sign, quite emotional. We will be more connected with our emotions. Sometimes you may feel nostalgic when remembering some situations from the past, but do not lose focus. Virgo, remember that the universe wants you to be present in the moment now so that you can witness what you are about to experience, what will soon leave your life. And with that, the universe and another card, the card 4 tens have appeared. If it appears, then yes, the 5 cards. But this one, wrong connections, Virgo. For some, this could indicate a separation, a marriage that ends, but let's say by mutual agreement. In other words, there could be a divorce. There might still be children involved, but it feels like it is by mutual understanding. There is still respect. There might have been financial problems. There could still be a bit of resentment for what happened, but somehow it feels like both are being freed. And that would bring a very peaceful energy for many, as well as for Virgo. But this also simply tells us to move away from wrong connections or wrong people. And it does not necessarily mean that you have to distance yourself, Virgo. It could simply be that this person creates the distance, or that the universe does something to make us act and separate. The energy of instability. Everything we have felt is not there, or rather, it is arriving very slowly. Yes, the slowness of things, the fact that they do not happen when or how we want them to. The energy of frustration, Virgo, will also disappear. The card represents absolute speed, and in its low vibration, it is the opposite, slowness. That is why I tell you that the slowness with which things develop for you in particular is the last thing that will fade away, Virgo. The major arcana. Sorry, it is not a major arcana. It is simply the famous sign, probably a number that keeps following you, I think Virgo, at least here on this channel, that this sign follows you constantly for some reason. But this card represents a celebration. Congratulations, like a kind of ceremony you will be part of. But you will also be the protagonist. That is, they will organize something for you, or you will organize something and invite others for some. This is a wedding. And look, Virgo, we just talked about breakups. And this is something or someone you will get attached to again. Whether you are getting attached again or finally doing so, maybe you are simply ending a relationship. not with someone who no longer deserves you, but to reach where you truly deserve to be, with someone who could be like the energy of a soulmate. Pay attention, Virgo. Pay attention to the signs. This path has been difficult, and you have suffered many wounds along the way, and you are still healing things that perhaps you have not even told others. You may be healing in silence, Virgo. You may be trying to reconcile with a situation, and eventually it will begin to slip out of your hands. And you can do it if you want, in silence. That is literally your energy because you represent a hermit. And a hermit is someone who sometimes feels a bit alone when they need to make important decisions in their life. So Virgo, the energy of the Nine of Wands tells you, Virgo, everything you have lived through, all those situations that have finally been resolved, are simply the first step toward this new beginning in your life. Well, finally, let's take a look at the near future. And with that, the universe and another card, the card has appeared. If it appears, then yes, the 5 cards. But this one, well, toxic relationships. Virgo, for some, this could indicate a breakup, the end of a marriage, but let's say amicably. In other words, there could be a divorce, there might be children, but everything seems to be going well, there is still respect, there could have been financial problems, there could still be some resentment for what happened, but somehow it seems that both parties are moving on. And that will bring a very peaceful energy for many people, as well as for Virgo. But this also simply tells us to move away from toxic relationships or toxic people. And that does not necessarily mean that you have to keep your distance. Virgo, it could simply be that this person is creating distance or that the universe is doing something to make us act and separate. The energy of instability. Everything we feel is not present, or rather, it arrives very slowly. Yes, the slowness of things, the fact that they do not happen on time or as we want. The energy of frustration, Virgo, will also disappear. This card represents absolute speed, and in its lowest vibrational frequency, it is the opposite, slowness. That is why I tell you that the slowness with which things go for you in particular is the last thing that will disappear. Virgo, the major arcana. Sorry. It is not a major arcana, it is just a famous zodiac sign. Maybe a number that follows you, I think Virgo, at least here on this channel, that the zodiac follows you constantly for some reason. But this card represents a celebration. Congratulations, like a kind of ceremony that you will be part of. But you will also be the protagonist. That is, they will organize something for you, or you will organize it and invite other people. For some, this is a wedding. And hey, Virgo, we just talked about breakups. And this is something or someone you will reconnect with. Whether you reconnect or finally do so, well, maybe you are simply ending a relationship not with someone who no longer deserves you, but to get to where you truly deserve to be, with someone who could be your soulmate. Pay attention, Virgo. Pay attention to the signs. This path is difficult, and you have suffered many wounds along the way, and you are still healing things that you may not even have told anyone. You may be healing in silence, Virgo. You may be trying to accept a situation that will eventually begin to get out of control. You can do it, if you want, in silence. That is precisely your energy, because you represent a hermit. And hermits are people who sometimes feel a little lonely when they need to make important decisions in their lives. So Virgo, the energy of the Nine of Wands tells you, Virgo, everything you have lived through, all the situations that have finally been resolved, are simply the first step toward a new beginning in your life. Finally, let's look toward the near future. Gracias por acompañarme en esta lectura, Virgo. Recuerda que todo lo que sucede tiene un propósito divino y que el universo siempre conspira a tu favor. Si este mensaje resonó contigo, no olvides dejar tu like, suscribirte al canal y activar la campanita para no perderte las próximas lecturas. Te envío mucha luz, amor y energía positiva. Cuídate mucho y nos vemos en el siguiente video. Gracias por acompañarme en esta lectura, Virgo. Recuerda que todo lo que sucede tiene un propósito divino y que el universo siempre conspira a tu favor. Si este mensaje resonó contigo, no olvides dejar tu like, suscribirte al canal y activar la campanita para no perderte las próximas lecturas. Te envío mucha luz, amor y energía positiva. Cuídate mucho y nos vemos en el siguiente video.